Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem Master video, and today we're going to talk a bit about the SS Aura, Cynthia, and Mega Lucario that's dropping later tonight, which, as usual, I will be pulling for live, so make sure all are liked, or not liked, subscribed. I mean, you can still like the video, but I have notifications on, so guys can join the stream when that happens. So, anyways, SS Aura, Cynthia, and Lucario is a very good unit. A lot of people have been saying that she's straight up bad. No, she is not bad. Have I already went through this already in that previous video a few days ago? Yes. Am I gonna talk about it again? Also, yes. So a lot of people think she's bad for a few reasons, and I don't think those reasons are completely invalid, but it doesn't make her as a unit bad, because she's not a bad unit. She's a very good freaking unit. All right. So let's talk about that real quick. So first of all, in terms of like the basics of this unit, she has, when you mega her, right, insanely high defenses for one, right? At 20 out of 20, this is straight up 400 plus defenses, likes of which the game has rarely ever seen, right? And then on top of that, very high HP as well, right? And then you got potion. You got your trainer move, which buffs defense and special defense by 6 in one move, right? In one move. And then you got other stuff like, first of all, your Sinnoh Flag Bearer also gives you damage reduction for your entire team, right? For both physical and special moves, because it's Flag Bearer, which is one of the rare W's for Flag Bearer in comparison to the other Master Passes. It's, for tanks, it's really nice because you reduce damage from both physical and special, not just, one or the other, which makes you a bit more versatile, right? But other than that, let's, so you also have Team Fist Bump 3, 40% chance of healing your team when your attack is successful, right? And then you have Damage Guard when you enter the battle. This thing is unbreakable as a tank. This is easily the number 1 tank in the game. No one is close. Number 1 tank in the game. Number 1 tank in the game, right? On top of that, you also set Aura Sphere. Set Aura Sphere. What? I mean, she does send out Aura Sphere as well, but you set Fighting Zone when you enter the game, right? And then after using a sync, it turns into Fighting Zone as well. And from what it seems, it should be an infinite amount of Fighting Zone sets. As long as you keep on syncing with Cynthia, you will keep on getting Fighting Zones, right? Again, we'll talk about some concerns about that later, but on top of that, you have 1 gauge spam and vacuum wave, which is very nice, because of Spore, generally you want one gauge moves or no gauge moves, unless this support also does really good damage. Then yeah, you could have a 3 gauge move or whatever, 4 gauge move. But yeah, your buddy move over here is B Aura Sphere, and this is only activated when you get hit by an attack move twice, right? And from the text, it does seem like you'd have to get hit twice again if you want to use the second one, because you do have 2 uses. Unlike, Ash's buddy move, you only get to use it once. Hers, you get to use twice, and it's very powerful. Gives move gauge acceleration to the field of play, and then increases physical move up next and special move up next by 2. So if you get it activated twice, she could give your team +4 physical and special move up next, which is very powerful. On top of that, it does some damage. I mean, 84 is not a lot of PP, but it's some damage. It's free damage, right? So very powerful supporting move over here. And then yeah, if we look at it, a lot of people say the 2 big criticism that people do levy at this unit, which again, not completely unfair, right? I think, which is first, she doesn't really buff any offensive stats, which is true. She doesn't, right? But on the flip side, she gives +4 physical and special move up next, which is just better. Right? As long as the unit you're supporting isn't like Dragonite or like Mewtwo that has like almost like no buffs for itself at all. Which, by the way, why are you running her with Dragonite or Mewtwo? It's a Fighting Zone unit. Although you could definitely run her outside of, without fighting units, right? She's still the number 1 tank of the game, on top of, giving defenses and giving special and physical move up next. But, outside of those units, most units in the game at least could give you +4, you know, attack or special attack or whatever, right? And if they don't have crit, then definitely you would still need to bring a crit buffer, which, again, true, sucks. But on the other hand, if it's only like you're missing out like on 2 attack, special attack, that's not that big of a deal, because the amount of buffs you get from this is just way more than the extra +2 attack or special attack you'd get, right? So again, very powerful over there. And again, not saying it's good that she doesn't have any offense buffs, but outside of that, the fighting zone as well, right? That's another thing people have issues with, but I don't feel like this is as big of a deal. Would it be nice if she also had zone extender like Red and, you know, and Groudon and Kyogre? It would have been nice, definitely would have been nice, but it's not that big of a deal either, because again, you have infinite fighting zone for one. Okay, so what if you don't get like a nuke in there, right? You have infinite fighting zone. That's like very powerful. And on top of the extra attack or physical and special move up next that you give to your team, that's what 160% boost could make up for a sync nuke. Maybe not much of a, if you compare it like maybe not much of a Diantha nuke, SU Diantha nuke, because that's really powerful. But you know, a average level nuke, yeah, you could sort of make up for it, right? But yeah, those are definitely her downsides. And also again, the zone thing is very good, especially in Legendary Gauntlet, right? But yeah, outside of that, let's check out in terms of if you want to pull for her, right? How many copies do you want? At 1 out of 5, she basically has her kit intact. I don't feel like this is really a unit you need to go for more copies, but more copies definitely make her much better, right? So at 2 out of 5, you have Fighting Zone Triage Tank 4, which heals your, or 50% chance to heal yourself, right, when you get hit by attack move in Fighting Zone. Is it a bit overkill in terms of it's another thing to help her tank? Might be, but it'll also be very funny. So, Brawling Acceleration gives move gauge acceleration in Fighting Zone, which is nice. Gobsmack 4 is slightly random, but okay, it's something. You could confuse the opponents if you want. Hey, if the opponents hit themselves in confusion, that's even more tankiness added to. Or Cynthia here, right? You got 1 potion MP refresh and 1 potion master healer, which is, you know, it's potions, right? Team Staring Contest prevents all allied sync pairs from flinching. This is actually really nice, especially with those stages that like Rock Slide you. So that's good to have. Tough Cookie gives you some like damage. I don't think it's that relevant. I mean, your Aura Spheres could do like okay-ish damage, but you're only like throwing out like 2 Aura Spheres, so it's not like it's not that big of a deal, I feel. And then like your Vacuum, like come on, Vacuum, really? But outside that, MP Refresh and Trainer Move is unnecessary because you already have this maxed out anyway. So her 2 out of 5 has some decent stuff, but generally I don't think that big of a deal. At 3 out of 5, you do have Head Start 1, which does help with the sync move countdown. If another unit could, you know, help with that and make it so that you sync a turn early, then there you go. You solved your Fighting Zone sync issue. You could just Head Start, have someone like Doja Gloria, for example, right? Give you a extra 2 sync move countdown, and boom, you sync a turn earlier. Fighting Zone still up when you sync. Solved, right? So there's that. Or you could give her another Head Start, so you'd have Head Start 2, and then you only need 1 more, you know, sync move countdown to make that work. Numbing Blow on Vacuum Wave. Paralyze the opponent. 50% chance to paralyze the opponent on that. So, like, you have them confused, you have them paralyzed, you already have the most ridiculous defensive stats in the world, you already have so many ways to heal yourself, and then you paralyze and confuse your opponents, right? Like, you will not die. This is not going down, alright? And you get the second Master Healer, second Potion MP Refresh. You have a sync free for all, which is nice, right? Free next for your team after you sync. Focus Group over here, which does help. Oh, there's crit, never mind. Yeah, which does help buffing your team's crit at least, right? So it's only just no physical and special attack buff, but you do have crit buffs. It is not very fast because it's only like +1 per Vacuum Wave, but it's still reasonable, right? Still reasonable. And then what do we have? Impervious, or stats can't be lowered if they're trying to lower your stats, right? Very, very powerful kit, man. I really don't... Is she the best, you know, mass affairs support, like, in the game? Is she the best support in the game? Probably not. But is she, like, a top 10 support in the game? I'd say easily. She's there, right? She's definitely there. She's really, really powerful. She gives you the #1 tank of the game. Gives you fighting zone, right? Gives your team defense buffs, has potions, can have the crit buffs, albeit, you know, not the best way to do it, but, I mean, to be fair, on the other hand, after you use this, you don't really have anything else to do until you get your Bior sphere unlocked, which, again, you don't really want to unlock this thing too early, right, because you only really want those, like, post syncs, so you get, like, even more damage for your teammates. But, yeah, it's really a incredible unit, man. It's an incredible unit. It is. It's good. It's not a bad unit. Not a bad unit by any stretch of the imagination. It's good. It's yeah, and again, it's not like the best support in the game, but does it have to be the best support in the game? I don't think so. I don't think so. Does the two things that it sort of kind of lacks suck? Yeah, it kind of sucks, but there's also upsides to that, right? There's also upsides to it. Does it completely make up for what she doesn't have? I don't know, that's up to you to decide, but she makes up for it, or has the potential to make up for it with other things, right? So, yeah, it's a good unit, man. It's a good unit. And just look at, like, fighting zone, right? Just look at these, like, units DPS-wise. Look how powerful these guys are. Dojo Gloria, right? Diantha. Very, 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 very powerful. After they get the fighting zone buff, even stuff like B, Solgaleo, all right, these are really, really nice, man. These are, it's good, it's good. I don't know what else to say, man. She's good. She helps your team get better, right? And if you can somehow muster up a Sygna, right, under fighting zone, which again is possible. It's not like impossible or whatever, right? For SC Diantha, man? SC Diantha, bro. that's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? So, anyways, yeah, that's or Cynthia, right? I give it a similar 9 out of 10 pull rate. It's just the best tank in the game, plus fighting zone, right? Plus all that other stuff that she does. Very, very good unit. Very, very good. Like, this thing will, like, destroy Cobalion, right? Or even what was it, a Yuxi, right? Or yeah, like, I mean, if you could get 3 out of 5, you get paralysis and confusion from your support, so you could free up your offensive slots and gauntlet. I mean, there's just so many things you could do with her. There's so many things you could do with her. So many things you could do with her, man. Again, do keep in mind, right, in terms of if you want her versus like Ash or Red, right? I'd say like Ash or Red, at least pick up one of those two, right? Because unless you have like NY Volkner, which, alright, sure, but like if you don't have NY Volkner, electric types are pretty down bad in this game, so I really would recommend at least picking one of Ash or Red, right? Even if you don't like them. I mean, unless you really just don't like them. I can't force you to not pick them, or pick something up that you like absolutely hate. But you know, once you get one of those, or Cynthia is really, really a nice option, right? Especially since fighting types I do feel like are slightly struggling without fighting zone, and fighting zone obviously helps fix that quite a bit. So it's good, man. It's good. I'd say go for it. Go for it. Right? She's gonna be here for a while, so there's no like hurries to like do it immediately or whatever, right? But once you do get your other priorities, this is a really, really nice unit to go for as well. So plus it's Cynthia, man. It's freaking Cynthia. It's Cynthia. It's Cynthia. All right. Anyways, that's really this one. I hope y'all gentlemen guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos, we're gonna have some more Pokemon Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one then. It's Cynthia, man. Come on. Stop playing.